Namaskar everyone and Jai Hind. Welcome back to Gyanonymous School. In our previous live lecture, that is UGC NET Criminology Lecture 1 Part 2, we have discussed the concept of deviance and crime. We have discussed various traditional crimes, crime against women, crime against children, crime against LGBTQ plus communities, against marginalized communities, crime against men, etc. We have discussed about the notion of victimless crimes, also about family-centered crimes and various community conflicts. Today we want to enter in one of the most exciting and rapidly evolving areas of criminology, that is we will discuss on modern crimes. This is we will go with the last themes of UGC NET Criminology Unit 1 syllabus, that is we will discuss modern crimes, we will discuss about organized crimes, economic crimes, we will have some lights on corporate crimes, development induced crimes, also about environmental crimes, hate crimes, the present in trend cyber crimes, also about cyber assisted crimes. We will discuss about very important aspects, that is terrorism and insurgency. Also we will delve into crime and politics. We will also deal into crime and media, how media reports crime, how media influence crime and criminal activities. We will delve into technology and crime. Also, lastly, we will go in depth into the transnational nature of crime or transnational crime. Crime actually has changed dramatically over the last century. Earlier, a criminal often needed physical presence to commit a crime, but in present time, a person sitting thousands of kilometers away, he or she can steal money, he or she can leak confidential information or manipulate financial markets, or may even attack a country's critical infrastructure through cyber attack or cyberspace. You learners know examples of that. I don't need to give you particular example of cyber attacks. So modern criminals actually, they are no longer limited to streets criminals, or they are no longer limited to neighborhood crimes. They operate through multinational networks. They operate through encrypted communication, shell companies, or even with cryptocurrencies for their financial support. And they do use sophisticated technology so that they would not be detected. So today's lecture, we will help you understand how crime actually has evolved in today's age of globalization and digital transformation. So without wasting more time on introduction, let's delve into what are the modern crimes, what are the nature of modern crimes. Modern crimes actually are offenses that actually emerged or expanded because of industrialization, because of globalizations, because of advancement of technology, or various complex financial system evolving. Just for that, crime also evolving, changing social structures, how new types of crimes emerge due to changing social structures. So unlike traditional crimes, these modern offenses often they actually involve organized networks. They involve cross-border nationals, means national from different countries. They do exploit technology. They use various new technology, like we name the telegram, signal, or maybe dark space, cryptocurrencies, etc., or blockchain even. So with this, they actually generate enormous illegal profit through modern crimes. And modern crimes are notoriously difficult to investigate. This is not like simple murder by I will not say anything simple. No crime is simple, but just someone is being murdered by a weapon which can leave many traces, and investigation jurisdiction come actually rather simple than the modern crimes, which actually involve various technology, which involves various jurisdictions crossing national borders, and involves illegal networks. and technology like blockchain, etc. So let's examine each category of modern crime one by one. Let's go through first, begin with organized crime. You say me, what comes to actually your mind when you hear the term organized crime? What do you think by organized crime? Whether the word organized crime actually literally means that some crime may be organized or structured way of committing crime is organized crime. What do you think about this word? Just think for a minute or think for a moment. Most people in organized crime, they think that organized crime is kind of mafia, okay? They are not entirely wrong if they think that organized crime is just mafia or don. But actually organized crime, it refers to criminal activities carried out by structured groups that operate continuously for profit or continuously for power, not only for financial benefit, but it can also be for power, or it can also be for influence. So characteristics of organized crime, it can be like organized crime or organized crime groups, or OCZ, that they mention or they officially name in United States and other countries. Organized crime groups are often hierarchical organization. They are just like any other official organization. They are actually hierarchical in structure. They go with very long-term planning. They have the motivation of financial gain. They actually use violence or intimidation. Use of violence and intimidation is one of their characteristics. They exploit the corrupt public officials, and there are actually international cooperations while executing organized crime. So what can be the examples of organized crime? There can be like simple, as we know, drug trafficking is an example of organized crime, human trafficking, arms trafficking. There can be illegal wildlife trade that we often hear through maritime routes or through even other routes, through porous border routes. Especially in East Asian countries, we often hear about illegal wildlife trade, about finance, about currency that is counterfeit currency. In India, it is called FICN, that is fake Indian currency note, that is counterfeit currency. Organ harvesting or organ scams. There are illegal minings of various minerals, including that of gold, diamond, and also other minerals. There can be other smuggling networks. So these all organizations, the organized crime groups, often resemble multinational corporations. They work like multinational corporations. They do have leaders, they do have financiers, they have recruiters, even transporters, and also money launderers. Okay, what money laundering? Money launderers which make their money from criminal money to make them white. From the illegal money, black money, they make that finance white. They make that money legal. That is called money launderers. So this is what organized crime is, or organized crime group is. Now moving ahead with another type of crime, that is economic crimes. What can be economic crimes? Economic crimes are often, they are committed by unlawful, or committed for what? For actually unlawful financial gains or unlawful economic gains. Unlike other violent crimes, and these economic crimes often like other violent crimes who actually attack economic instability or attack individuals or business, these economic crimes, they do not directly attack they do attack in a bloodless way. Like they exploit various vulnerabilities in the system. Economic crimes can be like bank fraud, maybe insurance fraud, tax evasion, and definitely money laundering. We have just discussed about it. There can be insider trading, information about stock market or various news which can lead to insider trading. There are various Ponzi and investment schemes that we have been hearing still, various investment schemes going on in around India. Um, there are financial embezzlement, that is mismanagement of money, maybe even mismanagement of government funds or funds of an NGO or other organizations. So such economic crimes, this can affect millions of people at once. A single financial fraud, actually it can wipe out life saving, it can wipe out life saving or damage investor confidence, and even weaken a very economic institution. We have heard there one some of the cyber attacks which attacked the Bangladesh National Bank so much that it had weakened to very much extent. It was weakened so much that it took years for them to recover from such a cyber attack. So it is one kind of economic offense too. Coming to another type of modern crime, that is corruption. After economic crimes, let's move to corruption. So what is corruption? It is just simply the abuse of entrusted power or entrusted authority for private gain. Corruption is, in simple language, if someone is in a position of power or position of trust and he is abusing that his position or his power or his discretionary authority for his private gain. That is what corruption is. It may actually involve bribery, it may involve kickbacks, maybe abuse of office, maybe nepotism, like placing his own ones, placing someone from his family or known person into his into job, etc. That often happens or happened in around India. There are favoritism, there are procurement fraud, like fraud in the tendering process or procurement process, and even illegal commissions, that you understand very easily what is illegal commission is. So what does corruption do? Corruption actually weakens governance. It diverts public resources, it undermines public trust and hinders the development process. So therefore criminologists study not only individual corruption, but there are corruption which we call institutional conditions, which may lead to institutional corruption. Corruption is not merely just for someone individually inclined to that way. There can be some institutional condition or institutional influence or institutional culture and environment which lead to such condition or which favor such condition to flourish. So criminologists not only study individual corrupt personnel, they actually study the whole institution or institutional conditions which allow the corruption to flourish. So that is corruption and how we deal with corruption. Coming to another modern crime, that is corporate crime. Corporate crime, it refers to actually unlawful acts committed by various companies or corporate officials for organizational benefits. By corporate crimes, we actually mean they commit particular unlawful activity for the unlawful gain of organization, for the organizational profit. We must remember what is the difference between organized crime, corporate crime, and corruption. The difference between corruption and corporate crime is that corruption can be individualistic. One person may be involved in corruption, but in corporate crime it is mainly the whole organization involved. It is for the organizational benefit. It can be like environmental pollution, a company not complying to environmental standard of that particular country, or maybe false financial reporting, product safety violations, maybe consumer fraud, waste theft, maybe price fixing, maybe illegal disposal of various hazardous waste. So we have heard that one of the, I will not take it name, one of the largest export companies in India, let's say export, it was news from last 1 or maybe 2 months, that in that export company, who was or is still a $1 billion company, but they manipulated their balance sheet data, which we find here as false financial reporting, to show them off as they are $1 billion export companies. This is actually a multinational company with more countries, with offices in in lot more countries in Europe, in Australia, in US, and in Asia. So these offenses may not receive the same media attention as violent crimes. If there are some crimes due to terrorism, or there are some violent crimes, or if there is some kind of murder or communal riots, media will get much more attention or much more attentive to such crimes. Corporate crimes may not get such attention, but the harm they cause, the impact of the harm, it influence millions of people. Corporate crime has the influence of harming millions of people. So that is what is corporate crime, which is in often or in more times it goes unnoticed. Let's go with another type of crime in our UGC NET Criminology syllabus. Meantime, I would like to suggest you, actually I should have told you before at the beginning of the classes, that beginning of this online lecture, I mistake with classes. Please do watch this video or every of my live video in 1.5x, because I am very slow in speaking. I just want my students understand whatever I say. If I say very fast, it will be difficult for them to grasp the meaning. So please, for better experience, do watch in 1.5x. If you don't understand, you just watch it again and again, and put me a question on the comment box. I will try to answer you. So please do watch in 1.5x. Anyway, let's come to another theme of our syllabus, that is development induced crime. This is also a modern crime. So what is development induced crime? As societies pursue rapid economic development, new forms of crime or new forms of conflict may emerge. So as countries like India, Brazil, South Africa, Russia, even China, as countries are going through various phases of development, definitely China is much ahead of us. But as countries going through various phases of development, there are various crimes also. Various new crimes evolves, like illegal land acquisition, which was not there years back, or which was not actually reported, even though they are there, or they were there years back. But now this is much more reported, or illegal land acquisition disputes are more often there. We can read on the newspaper or watch on television. There can be forced displacement due to development activities. There are various exploitation due to need of resources. Even we can see various illegal mining in India. We can see various illegal sand mining, illegal coal mining, etc. There are timber smuggling. It is not just a matter of today. Timber smuggling have been happening since maybe last 70-80 years, maybe since before independence of India. But some of the smuggling was actually not regarded crime at that time, but now due to amendment of various acts and more on environmental concern, it is regarded. Most of the timber smuggling, or most of the timber trading activities are illegal. Timber trading activities are termed as smuggling or crime by law. So there can be other crimes like construction related corruption. There are definitely land mafias. So these are the types of development induced crime. These crime evolve as development evolves, as societies go through various stages of development. So most of these crimes you will find only at the only in societies where development is going on. You will not easily see forced displacement in some very poor states, or in some states where development is not significant, or there is not much focus on development. Forced displacement is there when, let's say, there is going to be a very big project, like maybe a very big dam or nuclear installation, etc. So some people need to be displaced from there. During the displacement process, due to whatever development reason, many people are discriminated easily, even sometimes by government also, knowingly or unknowingly, mostly unknowingly. So these crimes actually have been happening in development focused geographies, in countries where development is getting more focused, or where development is getting more priority. So these crimes are called development induced crime. So criminologists actually examine how development projects can create various opportunities for exploitation if governance and accountability are actually very weak. So this is what development induced crime in UGC NET. There may be some questions for you, like what is development induced crime. They can be give you various options, from where you have to pick up one. Like they can say whether timber smuggling is, there may be timber smuggling in the option, or forced displacement, or illegal land acquisition. This, or maybe even in another option, there can be rape or child abuse, can be also development induced crime, but they are not actually development induced crime. You have to pick up from construction related corruption, or from land mafia, or forced displacement. So you should know what is development induced crime. Nothing to remember about it, nothing to memorize about it. Just understand what is development induced crime from development point of view. Then you will be able to differentiate which crime we can term as development induced crime. So let's move ahead to another type of crime, that is environmental crime. You must be knowing what is environmental crime. Very easy. It actually involves unlawful acts that damage our ecosystem, that damage our natural resources. It can be like illegal logging, maybe wildlife trafficking, maybe river pollution, hazardous waste dumping, or illegal mining, air pollution violation, maybe illegal fishing, even if that such kind of fishing is not permitted in that particular area, and people are trying to do it comes as environmental crime. So these offenses actually threaten biodiversity, it threatens public health and sustainable development. So this is environmental crime. You can easily probably can grasp it. And what is environmental crime? Let's move to another type of crime, which you actually have been reading it for some years. For some in some recent years, it is more on news. That is hate crimes. What is hate crime? Hate crimes, they are actually often motivated by wholly or partly by prejudice, by prejudice against a person's or group's identity. If you make a prejudice of someone, a particular person or particular group or community, that they are this type or they are that type, and you pass some comment or some statement that you should not be passing in a civilized society. So such types of speech, rhetoric, or statement can be hate crime. So victim of hate crimes, they can be targeted because of religion, because of ethnicity, because of caste, race, even because of nationality. If you move to some countries, they may not like, you can see that in some even Western countries, they actually do not like people from some particular countries. Okay, so they don't like people of particular nationality. So it can be also a hate crime. There can be even hate crime against a disabled person. There can be, it can be also due to sexual orientation. particularly hate crime can be against LGBTQ plus communities. There can be hate crime due to gender identity. If someone says he or she is non-binary, he or she is not ready to introduce himself or identify himself as a binary person or of male or female, so in some societies he or she may face actual discrimination from the society or hate from the society. So such type of discrimination, actually we call them crime or hate crime from legal point of view. So the defining feature of hate crime, actually we can term it as bias motivation, okay, making the impact extend beyond the individual victim to the wider community. If we just let's say if we comment something on onto a particular person who do not want to identify himself into a particular gender, if we comment onto him, it not only become crime to that particular crime against that particular person, it actually becomes a crime to that particular community. He or she may not be alone or may not be that similar kind of person. There can be hundreds, even thousands of such person, okay. Similarly, it goes to the nationality, race, caste, ethnicity or religion also. So this is called bias motivation. So that's all about hate crimes. We have learned what is hate crimes. We often see hate crime in religious context, in ethnic context mostly. We hear from some parts of India, or we often hear hate crime along with hate speech. Hate speech is a crime actually. So let's move ahead with another theme of our syllabus, that is cybercrime and cyber assisted crime, which is very much important, and we can read about it or hear about it almost every week, that some major cybercrime is happening with some person or with our near and dear ones. So the digital revolution actually has transformed the revolution from let's say last 20 years. It has transformed the society towards various opportunities. We can now move ahead with, we do have more opportunities than our previous generation due to the digital revolution. With that opportunities, we do also have risks, like let's say when my father was in job, or when my grandfather was in his job, whatever he may be doing, maybe in his business or in his work, he did have some savings, sometimes in bank, in some corporations, or maybe in some unofficial societies, but his money was safe. Wherever he deposited his money was safe. There could be some kind of corruption activities, some kind of fraud activities, but mostly it was safe from outsider. Whatever they could do, they just did it from themselves. If there was some miscalculations or mismanagement, it was just among them. There were various uncertainties or risks because of theft, because of dacoities or burglary, etc. But mostly there was no technical problem. But now me or my contemporary friends who deposit our money in banks or in other financial systems, and when we transact our money through online systems, we are much more vulnerable. Even though my grandparents, they couldn't able to withdraw their money as they wish, now I can withdraw my money instantly as I wish. How much I want, whatever amount I want, I can withdraw or I can deposit even. But I do have that risk too, that someone may be tracing me, some cyber criminals may be watching me if I don't follow that protocol. Even though I may follow that protocol, I may be victim of that, because the system may be wrong, there can be vulnerability in the system. So I may be getting much opportunities due to technical revolution or due to digital revolution than my grandparents, but I am also facing more risks of losing my assets, losing my uh, financial assets, or losing my deposits because of such risks. Okay, so that is what the premises of cybercrime. What is cybercrime? There are actually these offenses are, as we can define that, where computer or networks are primary targets or primary instrument of target by cyber criminals. They can be like, for example, you know, that hacking, maybe ransomware, maybe phishing, identity theft, data breaches, maybe malware attacks, or even cryptocurrency theft. This is all cyber crime. What is cyber assisted crime? As the name goes, cyber assisted, it what is assist means it is facilitates. It facilitates traditional offense like online human trafficking requirement or recruitment. Human trafficking can be or are done in offline, in physical way, but there can be online communication for that. Or that is we call cyber assisted human trafficking. There can be even social media fraud or online staking, or like digital extortion can be there, like I have said, ransomware attacks, etc. There can be fake investment scheme, or maybe online child exploitation, etc. So these are crimes, traditional crimes, which are assisted by cyberspace, that we often call cyber assisted crimes. Artificial intelligence, deepfakes, and encrypted messaging. These all new technology. These new technologies actually pose as new challenge for investigations, for investigators to solve the cases of such traditional crimes that involve cyber assistance. So this is what cybercrime and cyber assisted crime is. If you don't understand anything, or if you think that I have gone very far into a particular topic, or if you think that I didn't go very deep into a particular topic, or you want to understand more, please do write in the comment box, and I will definitely be explaining the same in the next video. That's my promise. I will be definitely explaining you whatever you want to learn about criminology. So that is what cybercrime and cyber assisted crime. Let's go to another theme which is very much in trend in contemporary world, that is terrorism and insurgency. What is terrorism and what is insurgency? The funny part of terrorism or insurgency is that, particularly of terrorism, there is universally no a particular definition of terrorism. It simply says that one man's terrorist can be another man's freedom fighter. So although terrorism and insurgency, they both involve violence, they are not identical. Terrorism, it seeks to create fear among civilians and achieve political, ideological, and religious objective. What terrorism do? Terrorism is like to achieve a political, ideological, or maybe religious objective through violent means. Through it can be through fear among civilians. Okay. And what is insurgency? Insurgency can be it is actually a organized armed movement challenging the authority of the state. It can often aim the controlling of of a territory, or maybe it can be for the alteration of political arrangement of that particular authority. We often say that in India, when we go with terrorism or counterterrorism, we just use the term CICT, that is counter insurgency and counter terrorism. So the word insurgency is very much official importance in India, particularly in northeast India, which has been insurgency affected for decades, maybe from 1960s till now. Some states in Northeast are affected by insurgency, even though we name them terrorism, but actually officially it is insurgency what is going on in some parts of Northeast India. So insurgency is when a group challenges the authority of the state to gain control of their territory or to alter the political arrangement of the territory. They may need a new state or they may need the autonomy of that particular area. So this is insurgency, and for that they do some organized movement, organized armed movement, or organized armed rebellion. That is insurgency. And on the other hand, terrorism is what? It is something, there is some goal, and that goal would be political goal or ideological goal or maybe religious objectives. And for that, they target civilians. They create fear among civilians to achieve such objectives. So understanding these distinctions between terrorism and insurgency is very much important in criminology, in security studies and public policy. I will, if you want, please let me know in the comment box. If you want, I can make a video explaining what is terrorism, what is insurgency, what is Naxalism, etc. 2, 3, 4 things, and I will explain what actually they means. They may not have some official definitions, but country to country they may be differ. But what is terrorism? Sometimes our media and even some so-called experts also use these terms in means interchangeably. Like sometimes they call northeastern insurgents terrorists. Sometimes they call Kashmir insurgents. Okay, so these are very much different words. Terrorism, insurgency, separatism. These are completely different. In Kashmir, we call them separatists or separatist. Okay, so if you want, I can make a video of them to what is the distinction between terrorism, insurgency or separatist movement, or maybe what is Naxalism. Okay, please let me know. So this is what terrorism and insurgency as in the syllabus. Now let's move to another theme, that is crime and politics. How crime and politics are related. The actual relationship between crime and politics is very complex and very historical. Criminologists actually study issues such as criminalization of politics, or sometimes it comes like politicization of criminals or politicization of crime also. So it goes both way. Okay, there can be even political corruption or even electoral violence that we have seen in most part of India in 70s, 80s. And so there were very much electoral violence. Even still we see such electoral violence in our neighboring countries. There can be misuse of public office, and there can be organized crime and politics nexus. There can be a very much nexus between politicians and organized crime groups. There can be influence of money and muscle power, because as it goes, as it says in India, to remain in politics in some states you need both money and muscle power. So politicians go both ways. It is alleged to say that politicians go both ways. They go with politics as well as they keep a good relation with various criminal networks. So I don't know whether it is true or not, but it is what everybody have intuition about it. So this interaction can these interactions that we have just mentioned, these all can weaken democratic institutions. It can weaken actually rule of law. So this is what crime and politics is. next go to the, I think, second last theme of our syllabus of UGC NET Criminology part 1, that is media, technology and crime. Media actually plays a dual role. It helps expose crime, it spreads awareness and support investigation. At the same time, there can be irresponsible reporting. Some reporting can be very much irresponsible. They can be like sensitization, there can be misinformation or social media manipulation, which can actually contribute to very much panic in the society, which can contribute into prejudice building. There can be like copycat behavior in the media. If something going on in one media channel, the other channel will follow that, or in that way there can be rapid sense of humor. So in one hand, media exposes crime, it spreads awareness and support investigation. On the other hand, there can be very irresponsible reporting. There can be misinformation or social media manipulation, which can lead to spread of rumor, and later this can lead to even violence. On the other hand, technology, which has similarly become a double-edged sword. It can enhance policing through surveillance, through forensic science or data analysis. It can help police in very much ways. But it can, on the other hand, with the another edge, it can create new opportunities for sophisticated criminal activities, like with cyber crimes, like with blockchain technologies, etc. So media and technology, they go both ways. They even help the law enforcement for a better society, and even they can help build wrong narrative or build spread of rumor, or in case of technology, they can make the criminal activity very sophisticated for detection for the law enforcement. So this is what media, technology and crime is. Maybe now we are moving with our last theme of unit 1 of UGC NET Life Criminology, that is transnational crime. What is transnational crime? Transnational crime are actually offenses that involve more than one country. Their planning, execution, or moment of offenders, moment of victims, and proceeds of crime. They are all these, like planning, execution, moment of offenders, victims, or proceeds of crime. This doesn't take place only. This doesn't take place only in one country, or they take place in more than one country. There can be planning in one country, execution, moment, or victim can be of another country, and proceeds of crime, that is profits of crime or benefits of crime, can be transferred into a fourth country too. So what can be examples of transnational crime? It can be human trafficking or transnational human trafficking, drug trafficking. In drug trafficking, we have know that there is Golden Triangle, Myanmar, Thailand and Laos. We name it Golden Triangle. There are Golden Crescent. Golden Crescent is Iran, Afghanistan and Pakistan. So this is what drug trafficking is. It is a transnational crime. If you want, again, I can make a video of Golden Triangle, what is Golden Triangle and what is Golden Crescent. Please do let me know on the comment box. I will definitely make a video for you if you want about what is Golden Triangle and what is Golden Crescent. So drug trafficking is also international crime. Arms smuggling, there can be money laundering or siphoning of money from one country to another through illegal means, through illegal routes. Wildlife trafficking, some crimes like cyber crimes targeting through servers in multiple countries. And there is one crime which is definitely transnational in nature, that is maritime piracy. Piracy is an international crime. There are separate laws for that. And another type of transnational crime can be trafficking of cultural property. Even though it is not so often we hear we don't hear them very often, but they goes in millions of dollars, trafficking of cultural properties. So such crimes as we said, like human trafficking, drug trafficking, wildlife trafficking, or money laundering, these all crimes, they actually require international cooperation. They actually require intelligence sharing, or coordination between persons of various countries. They require even extradition, mutual legal assistance for interception, and coordinated law enforcement to grab the criminals or to expose that criminal gang. So this is what transnational crime is. Hope we will learn about there are various convention of transnational crime. I think this is beyond the scope of this lecture to discuss about various convention of transnational crimes. We hope one day we will go live with this particular theme of transnational crime. So this is with this we come to the conclusion of today's lecture. We also come to the conclusion of UGC NET lecture 1. This has been 3 lectures. We have covered all the unit 1 of UGC NET Criminology syllabus in 3 lectures. Here in part 3 today we have explored the changing landscape of crime in modern world. Yeah, we discussed from origination of criminal syndicates to cyber criminals, from corporate misconduct to environmental destruction. So we discussed that criminology must continually adapt to understand such criminal threats. So key takeaways from the today's lesson can be like crime evolves with society as technology, economics, and political systems change and evolve. So evolves the method and scale, also impacts of criminal behavior. This particular or this dynamic nature, what makes criminology both very challenging and fascinating. With today's lecture we have completed unit 1. In the next lecture we will begin with unit 2, where we will discuss about definition and scope of criminology and other social sciences. We will know about coordination among criminal justice systems, about crime prevention, about neighborhood involvement, also about various crime prevention tactics like CPTED or crime prevention through environmental design and electronic monitoring, etc. So that's all. If you find this lecture valuable and useful, please like this video and subscribe to Gyanonymous School and share it with your fellow UGC NET aspirants or with anyone who is interested in learning criminology. So thank you. And before ending today's lecture, that is end of lecture 1 of UGC NET Criminology, I would like to ask you one question. Please answer me in the comment box that which section of BNS specifically handles terrorism. In BNS, in Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, they have introduced in BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023, that is newly enacted criminal law of India. They have particularly introduced a section to tackle terrorism. So which section tackles or take care of terrorism or terrorist activities in BNS? Please write that in the comment box. And do watch this video over and over again. If you don't understand anything, please let me know in the comment box, and do watch it on 1.5x for better experience. Thank you for joining today's live sessions, and thank you for joining all the 3 parts of lecture 1. See you in lecture 2. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.